Now, there is an argument. People are saying, oh, these are Russian or Chinese or an adversarial nation.
Yes.
Now, let's just address that. If that were to be true, that is a bigger problem than something completely unknown or out of this world. So I'd like to keep every possibility on the table until we exclude them. But one thing is for certain. UFOs, UAPs, they represent an advancement in technology that no nation on Earth has ever displayed in the theater of war. Mm-hmm. And now we are seeing incursions by UAPs in our restricted airspace over sensitive facilities. They can actively jam our radar and weapon systems, and they hover at times and manipulate our nuclear weapons. How is this not important? It doesn't matter where UFOs, UAPs come from. That's an epistemological issue that people can deal with. I'm looking at this as a scientific issue and one from national security standpoint, and a conversation that we need to have either way without ridicule. And that's happening now. That's happening.
It absolutely is happening. It wouldn't have come to, I think, of millions of people's attention without this. And as you say, that's something I definitely wanted to talk about with you, which is that in response to your video, there have been a lot of discussion about Chinese and Russian drones, et cetera, how that could be the possible explanation. As you say, if that's true, I mean, okay, let's find out more, because that sounds scary as hell to me. If they can jam radar systems, move beyond anything known to human technology and, mess with nuclear weapons. What is your assessment generally of how the government is handling this? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, there seems to be a new level of disclosure, which is making some people in the community uncomfortable, saying, why is this all coming out now? As somebody who's been trying to get this out for a long time, what's your response to that?
I think it's dangerously myopic to try to identify unidentifieds just based on one video or two videos. We have electro-optics and sensor data that is just so robust, and more of that is coming out. So I think our government's response, remember, this is a representative government. I mean, we have people representing us, and we have been lied to, for decades, and this is provable. We were told in 1969 the end of Project Blue Book was the end of the U.S. government's interest in UFOs. We later found out from George Knapp about OSAP and ATIP and all of these programs to study UFOs. I will tell you, behind the scenes, the scientific community and our military and defense department, this is the number one topic, because these vehicles, as you see in the images I released of the USS Omaha incursion, what you're seeing are vehicles with a propulsion system that is not a reactionary propulsion system. It appears the propulsion system is a field propulsion system, that these craft might possibly be gravitationally propelled, and that they are transmedium because of that. They can pierce that boundary between air and sea and even space without destruction. And that's what we're seeing, and we're going to see more of with the USS Omaha information. So why? Why now? Why is the government now coming clean on some of this information? It is purely because of an increase of frequency of actual encounters and sightings, and you can argue all day that's because our technology has gotten better. The problem with that is there's an increase in frequency in civilian sightings as well. So they are being confronted. Whoever learns how to reproduce the material science and this technology, whatever nation does that first, they win, game over.